So this video is going to tackle a concept that gives kids a lot of trouble, and it's something that I think kids kind of convince themselves they don't know how to do, and then they don't do well with it because they already have that idea in their head. But a fraction is something that scares a lot of high school and middle school students, and it really shouldn't. They're not bad to deal with. I put this video with multiplying and dividing before adding and subtracting because I feel that these are even more straightforward than the adding and subtracting. Adding and subtracting maybe is a little tricky with common denominator and everything. You don't need that when you're multiplying and dividing though. When you multiply fractions, you're just going to multiply straight across. So it's really not too bad to do if you just keep that one quick rule in your head. Multiplying fractions is great. If you first one here, you have negative 3 over 4 times 5 over 9. You're going to multiply your top numbers, and you're going to multiply your bottom numbers. You get negative 15 over 36, and all you have to do then is reduce it. And 3 goes into both of these. If I divide them both by 3, I end up with 5 over 12 is my reduced answer. For the second problem here, and again, feel free to pause the video if you want to try this one for yourself. That negative out front though like this, remember, that means it's really a negative up top. You can just put the negative up top. Don't do it to both parts because then they would end up canceling. You want to have a negative answer. You just go straight across. You get negative 4 over 20. And negative 4 over 20, if you reduce it, divide them both by 4, you get negative 1 over 5. Dividing fractions is not much worse than adding or than multiplying them. There's one little rule that you have to keep in your head though. So when you divide fractions, I want you guys to remember the phrase keep, change, flip. Or you might have heard it, I don't know, depending on how you were taught it. If that phrase doesn't sound familiar, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. That's the other way that it's commonly taught. So, first fraction. In our problem, when we are dividing, keep it exactly as is. This 5 over negative 2 does not change. I'm going to leave him the same, keeping it alone. Change this sign right here, the division sign, to multiplication. And flip your second fraction. So 1 over 4 turns into 4 over 1. Once you get this, it's a multiplication problem. You just go straight across now. 5 times 4 makes 20 over negative 2. My answer is negative 10. And we have one more problem on this little video here. When you have a whole number involved with fractions, you can turn that into a fraction by putting it over 1. So instead of having 7 there, I'm going to change that to 7 over 1. And then it's the same problem. In division, keep the first fraction, change to multiply, and flip the second fraction over. Then you just treat it the same way. When you multiply straight across, you get 21 over 2. And when you're dealing with these problems, as long as you reduce your fractions, you're good. I would rather you have a fraction that's reduced than a decimal. So just leave it like that, and that is how you multiply and divide fractions.